In the bustling world of Silicon Valley, where new ideas flourish and dreams take flight, one company stood out with a big idea to change healthcare forever with a special blood testing gadget. The company was Theranos. Imagine, a tiny drop of blood could test for hundreds of different diseases including cancer. Sounds incredible, right? Well, that's what Theranos claimed their technology could do.
And the types of tests that are done are ones that provide insight into the onset of disease.
But as we'll soon find out, that hope was built on lies and disappointment. Theranos, which claimed to revolutionize blood testing, ended up being the biggest fraud in history. Hold on to your seats because we're embarking on an in-depth exploration of the captivating tale behind the Theranos fraud case.
Elizabeth Holmes trial, the verdict is in. The disgraced Theranos founder and CEO found guilty.
The promise was a healthcare revolution. The reality was a bloody lie.
Today, the Theranos CEO was sentenced to more than 11 years jail.
The company was started by Elizabeth Holmes. She was a precious and ambitious child. She was driven and determined from young age, with a clear vision of what she wanted to achieve in life. From young age, she wanted to be billionaire. So, when she was 19 years old, she founded Theranos in 2003. The idea for Theranos came from her fear of needles and her desire to revolutionize the blood testing industry. The name Theranos was a combination of the words therapy and diagnosis. Originally, the company was called Real-Time Cures, but Holmes changed the name because she thought too many people doubted the word cure. Theranos aimed to change how blood tests were done. Their goal was to make testing faster and easier for people. Because Elizabeth came from a well-connected family, she had an easier time starting the company. Many investors were drawn because of her clear vision and confident about the project. She also able to convince her Stanford professor, Channing Robertson, to join as the first board member. However, she struggled to convince investors who are specialized in medicine. By the end of 2004, she was able to manage $6 million in funding. In 2004, Holmes began hiring a team of scientists and engineers to get things going. However, progress wasn't happening as quickly as she wanted. So she decided to shake things up by hiring another team and putting them against each other in a competition. She made it clear that the team showing the least progress would face the consequences of being fired. This created a competitive environment, but also raised concerns about work-life balance and the pressure placed on employees. By 2006, Theranos said they had made prototype machine. They called the small blood collection container the nanotainer, and their testing machine, the Edison.
The samples in, we called them the nanotainer.
Elizabeth Holmes named it Edison, after Thomas Edison, the famous inventor, because she believed in Edison's quote, "I've not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This is how Edison is supposed to work. First, blood is taken in nanotainer and put it into the machine, and that's it. The machine handles the test, sending the data over the internet to a lab and sends the report back immediately. It's like a high-tech shortcut for getting your blood tested without the fuss of traditional method. But it doesn't work out as planned. The machine had a lot of problems. Parts would break off, it could not control its temperature, and the error rate is very high. Despite the machine was not working, Holmes kept lying to investors and making excuses. Theranos was running out of funding. So, to keep doing the work, she talked with more investors. She told them that the machine was working fine, even though it wasn't. She lied about its performance to make it seem like a good investment opportunity for investors. And in the same year, when the company's chief financial officer, CFO, found that Holmes had been lying, he confronted her and told her to stop. However, instead of agreeing, she immediately fired him. And surprisingly, she chose not to hire a replacement for the chief financial officer post for an entire decade. Holmes admired Apple founder Steve Jobs and intentionally copied his style, often wearing a black turtleneck sweater like he did. Also, she hired some Apple employees, which also includes one of the former senior president of Apple. But later on he left Theranos, because he felt that his voice was ignored. Holmes was the one controlling the board. The board of Theranos was a panel of well-known peoples. Don Lucas, who was a mentor to Oracle's founder, was the chairman of Theranos board. Later on in 2009, Holmes' boyfriend Sonny, who was a software engineer, joined the company as its president and chief operating officer (COO). Holmes met him when she was in a trip to Beijing during high school. Sonny had only little knowledge about medical company. Sonny knew how to control people. He was feared figure within the company, known for frequently firing employees and having a quick temper. He also used to track every employee, go through their browser history. And he also implemented strict measures within the company, including the installation of keyloggers to track every words typed by employees. Also, all the employees were made to sign non-disclosure agreement when joining the company. Furthermore, chat features were also blocked on company computers, all as part of Theranos' efforts to keep secrets hidden. Even employees who were fired were made to sign agreement to not transfer the information out. And during this time, Theranos was actively raising funds for its operations and expansions. Over the next few years, Holmes raised even more money, totaling over $92 million by the end of 2010. During 2010, Theranos was garnering significant attention and investment, with Holmes being hailed as a visionary in the healthcare industry. The company was expanding its partnerships with various healthcare providers and pharmacies, and Holmes herself was featured in numerous media outlets, including magazine covers and TED Talks, promoting the potential of Theranos' technology to revolutionize healthcare by making diagnostic testing faster, cheaper, and more accessible. In the mid-2010s, people started looking into Theranos more closely and found some big problems with its technology and what it claimed it could do. In July 2011, Theranos' founder met with George Shultz, who used to be the Secretary of State. After a 2-hour meeting, Shultz decided to join Theranos' board of directors. In 2012, Safeways decided to invest $350 million to upgrade 800 of its stores, with clinics that would provide blood tests for public for the first time. Also in 2013, Walgreens joined with the company to offer blood tests at over 40 of its locations. She started getting more attention in 2014, appearing on the covers of magazines like Fortune and Forbes. Forbes even called her the youngest self-made female billionaire in the world, ranking her on their list of richest people. Theranos was valued at a whopping $9 billion by the end of 2014, and Holmes had gotten over $400 million in investments. She also got a bunch of patents for her technology, both in the US and abroad. Holmes wasn't alone in believing her vision. Big names like the Walton family, media giant Rupert Murdoch, and even former politician Betsy DeVos, all invested millions in her startup. Can you guess how much? The Waltons chipped in a whopping $150 million, Murdoch went over $120 million, and DeVos bet $100 million. Pretty impressive, right? Holmes had promised that the machine would work perfectly when launched in stores, but it didn't. There were still lots of problems, and it was still giving inaccurate reports. So after facing multiple delays and concerns about the accuracy of the tests from a trial clinic, in Starways headquarters, Safeways canceled the deal in 2015. Also in 2016, Walgreens ended its partnership with Theranos, filing a lawsuit against the company in federal court for breach of contract.
Walgreens formally ended its relationship with Theranos, saying it will close all the care centers run by the blood testing company.
The downfall of Theranos started in 2015, when investigative reports by the Wall Street Journal exposed discrepancies in the company's technology and operations on 15th of October. These reports raised serious doubts about the accuracy and reliability of Theranos' blood testing technology, leading to increased scrutiny from regulators, investors, and the public. In 2016, they were under federal investigation and had their lab certifications revoked. The investors were suing Theranos one by one. Theranos eventually shut down its labs, laid off most of its employees, and faced numerous lawsuits. Theranos, The company promising finger-prick blood tests hit a dead end in September 2018. After failing to find a new owner, they had to shut down. Theranos' COO, Sunny Balwani, and its founder Elizabeth Holmes were charged with wire fraud for deceiving investors and consumers about their technology's capabilities. Holmes was found guilty of fraud in 2022 after a high-profile trial. This case shows the importance of honesty in business. Being dishonest can lead to legal trouble and damage trust. Companies must be transparent about their abilities and limitations to maintain trust with stakeholders. Please do like and subscribe for more content like this. If you want to know how US become a superpower, then click on the video.